Welcome, 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 family. We are live today on the Professional Women in Wellness podcast, which is a sacred space where we explore what it truly means to thrive from the inside out. I'm your host, Karima, and I am the creator of the Temples Method. If you follow my journey, you follow my story, you know what that is, but we're going to dive into that a little bit tonight. And this show invites women leaders, healers, and change makers. I am on this call right now with a change maker to share their journeys of regulation, realignment, and rising into sacred living. I wanted to introduce you to my guest, Samiko Hartley, and she's going to tell you all of her amazing titles because there's so many of them. That's how amazing she is. So I'm going to give the floor to you, Samiko, at this time. Please introduce yourself.
Well, Karima, first and foremost, let me say thank you so much. It is such an honor to be here on your podcast. I truly appreciate the invite. But my name is Samiko Hartley, and I am the founder and CEO of Miko New York, LLC, the Boss Loft, New Jersey. And I am a business advisor for the Goldman Sachs 1 Million Black Women Black in Business program. And I am here live with Karima to share my story and how sacred living is important to me and how I've balanced that throughout my life and my journey as an entrepreneur.
Yes. So, wow, with so many titles that you just mentioned, let's dive in. Like, how do you manage it all? How are you really doing today?
Actually, I'm doing amazing. I am so grateful, just to be alive. I think we focus on the big things, and I'm learning to focus on the little things in life and being in the moment, right? And not really allowing myself to get too caught up into like the weeds of life, but really enjoying every minute of it. So I'm doing great.
I love to hear that you're doing great. You sound great. You look great. Everything
Thank
is great.
you.
That's beautiful. So, my next question then is, as you have navigated all of your journey with business and being a leader, have you experienced burnout, stress, and overwhelm? And what was your turning point? What has it taught you about yourself?
Now, Karima, what kind of question is that as a woman, right? First of
That
all,
I know, right? It's rhetorical.
we wear so many different hats, right?
Mhm.
I am a wife. I am a mother of 5 beautiful children. I'm an entrepreneur. I am a sister. So, with all of those hats, yes, I have felt burnt out. There are days where I do feel exhausted, even now. But
Mhm.
again, I try to navigate that. And I really try to focus on the whole person
Mhm.
and not just parts of me, right? And what does that look like? Like taking care of Samiko spiritually, emotionally, mentally, socially, right? Financially, all those areas. Because again, as an entrepreneur, there is no days off, right? You're constantly
Right.
working in and on your business.
Correct.
When you're a wife and a mother, there is no time off, right? You have to show up for other people all the time. But I'm learning to give myself grace and to show up for myself like I show up for everybody else.
I'm so glad you touched on that. And this is why I created this podcast, because the voices of women do not get heard enough, in my opinion, right? And with all that you juggle, it's important to hear how you overcome and what this transition from burnout means to you. So, next question is, in my work with this Temples method, right? I experienced all of that burnout, all of that stress, and this is why I created this platform. And I talk about moving from survival mode to sacred living. So you talked about it briefly. How did you do it? What does that shift really mean to you personally?
So, first and foremost, acknowledging when you're burnt out, right? And
Right.
not continuing to push past and
Hmm.
really stopping. And then the other thing is saying no and setting boundaries, right? Because sometimes we feel like, we have to be there for everyone else, but
Correct.
learning to really say no and being okay with saying no.
Hmm.
And then learning about myself because I'm a woman of a certain age, Karima. And as I get older, I realize that there are different stages in my life where I become someone new. And I'm learning that that's okay to really take the time to learn what I need at this stage in my life and create that, and then let everyone else know what I need so they could respect, the changes that I'm going through, or if I need to pause, that it's okay.
Yes.
And that's where, you find your real power is being able to recognize that, working within those parameters. And I realized eating healthy plays, and I learned that from you. Yes, I learned that from you. Eating healthy is so essential,
It really
right?
is.
What you put in your body, live,
Yeah.
healthy foods, it makes a big difference. And
Mhm.
then working out, moving your body, and then what are you feeding your mind, like spiritually?
Come on, that's
So
the Temple's method now. Let's go.
constantly like feeding myself positive
Yes.
affirmations, reading positivity, because
Mhm.
we don't just feed ourselves physically, we feed ourselves mentally, we
Yes.
feed ourselves emotionally, socially. So I really try to stay balanced in all areas of my life so that I could truly show up for the people I really care about. Because I realize, someone told me this a long time ago, and I did not understand it. They said that, when you're on an airplane, you have to put your oxygen mask on first before you think about your kids. And as a mother, my first response was, oh no, I got to save my children.
Yes.
And then they said, you can't save your children dead. And so I realized that I can't give anybody else what I'm not giving myself. Although I think I'm doing my best, although I think I'm giving, but if I'm burnt out and I'm tired and I'm exhausted, I'm going to show up in everything I do like that. And I may not realize it because I'm pushing through it, but it'll start to show in other areas of my life, and people will start to see that.
100%. And this is in my talk as well. I speak a lot about pouring from overflow. So just right in alignment with what you're saying, we have to fill our own cups first. And when it gets full, right, with all the things that we need for ourselves and the things that we love to do, then the cup overfloweth. And then everybody lives and breathes and moves from your overflow, not from your lack or from your empty cup. So I love that you touched on that. So now you spoke on setting boundaries, which is amazing. I want to switch gears because that's with personal life. How do you do that in professional spaces? So I know you've worked in a lot of high performance spaces. You've been your own boss, right? You're a big boss here.
Oh, thank you.
So, but it's still high performing, right?
Right.
How do you think in your own organization, in other organizations that you worked with, how do you feel wellness comes into play, particularly for women?
I
So
have
it's a two-parter.
No, absolutely. You know
Mhm.
what? And it's so I am learning, especially for women. So I work with a lot of Black women entrepreneurs, and
Mhm.
I realize that no matter how high performing we are, a lot of Black women still struggle with feeling like they're enough, like they deserve to be in those spaces, right?
Mhm.
And so that's stress in itself, right? Where you're constantly working to prove yourself, when you
Mhm.
know you're intelligent, when you know you deserve, but then you still feel like you're not enough, you know. So just one thing, like that imposter syndrome, right? Like
Real,
Karima,
very
right?
real. It's very real.
Working through that, constantly reminding myself, looking at the proof of all the work that I've put in, and I have come here, I've deserved to be here. Like that's first and foremost. And then once you do that, you understand your value and
Mhm.
you start aligning yourself with opportunities that are in alignment with you, and not just chasing after, anything and everything. Continuing to focus on developing yourself so that you can
Mhm.
attract the right things to you. And
Correct.
when you do that, when you're not chasing, you running and you're chasing, you get out of breath. But when
You
you
do.
start working on you and things start coming to you, this is where you find peace, right? Because you understand who you are, you
Absolutely.
understand the value. And of course, that's years in the making. As an entrepreneur, you learn, you fail, you make mistakes, you
Hmm.
go back, you correct them. I've been an entrepreneur for almost 22 years. So we're talking about over 2 decades. There's a
Yes.
lot of learning, but I can also say having a great support system has
Hmm.
been essential to me being able to do and continue to do the things that I love, and mostly working with other Black women entrepreneurs.
Well, wow. Speaking of support system, you have been that for me. And I want to take,
Oh,
no, just receive. I want to take a moment to highlight, first of all, anybody that's listening, Samiko has been my business mentor and coach for many years. Probably since COVID, actually, is when we connected. And we lost touch for a bit, but when we came back, it was almost instant, right? It was like an instant gratitude, instant appreciation. She's taught me so much, and she's teaching you so much. She drops gems, and that was some gems. She just dropped some bars, if you know what I mean. So we're nearing our close, unfortunately, and I would like to hear, as a professional woman in the wellness space, finally, what do you do today for yourself to honor your temple? What does that look like?
first thing I do when I wake up in the morning, I pray and I read my Bible. That's the first thing I do, right?
Mhm.
And then I go and I work out, right? So I start moving my body. And then I am very conscious of what I put in my body the first thing I do in the morning. And don't get me wrong, I don't have it right all the time, every single day, because I have my moments.
Mhm.
But I understand when I do those things, going for a walk in the park out in nature, when I do those things, I am feeding my soul. Like literally, I am feeding my soul. And Karima, whenever I find myself not doing those things, I feel off balance and my
Mm.
day don't feel like it goes right. But then
Yeah.
also connecting with the people that mean so much to me, like my children, my husband, making sure that I am intentional about saying, I love you, having these conversations with them, those are the things that feeds my soul. So making sure I do those things and never compromising them and never sacrificing, that is what I've learned, because especially as an entrepreneur, yes, you want to be successful, but at what cost? And I never, ever, ever, as an entrepreneur, felt the need to sacrifice my relationships with God and with my family for success. And
Mhm.
so just keeping that balance have honestly helped me to, like you said, just preserve that sacred part of me so that I could show up fully for everyone else.
Yes. That was beautiful. Listen,
Oh,
I don't even have anything to add to that. It was just well said. Complete alignment with everything that I believe. I too have a very strict routine that I have, been accustomed to and stay consistent with, because if I don't, things start to fall apart. And I noticed that very quickly. So thank you so much. This has been an amazing, amazing evening with you, helping others understand the importance of being well in everything that we do. It's so necessary. And this is, we're closing out in our episode 2 with Samiko Hartley. Are there any final thoughts that you'd like to add to this conversation?
yes, I just want to say how proud I am of you, Karima, for stepping out and following your dream. Because I remember when I first met you and how
Mhm.
you were talking about doing this thing, but you had your secular job and just trying to find, a way to do what you love, and to see
Mhm.
you in this space now, to see you shining and thriving in this space and doing it. That's everything. Do you hear me? That is everything. And I'm so happy for you. And I am looking forward to being here on this journey with you and watching you thrive in this space and helping so many people understand the importance of sacred living.
It's so important. Family, this is episode 2 conclusion. I couldn't have asked for a better guest. Thank you for those words. They mean so, so much to me. You have no idea. You are a role model. I just look up
Oh,
to you,
thank
and
you.
I'm telling you, when I saw you at the Women in Wellness, big shout out to Ayana. Um, uh, Summit, I was just ecstatic. It was just like, yes, I'm reconnected and I want to stay connected. And I
Yes.
promise you I will. I'll be at the Boss Loft. We're going to
Yes,
connect,
that's
and
right.
get some things going there. On whatever capacity you need me to show up and support you, I am there for you. And thank you for just joining me on episode 2. And it'll be out, posted everywhere. Get
Before we
ready.
go, can I
Yes.
say I have the Blossom and Thrive Black Boss Mixer coming up
Oh,
on
yes.
December 5th.
December
And this
5th.
is
Okay.
where professional women, Black women, entrepreneurs get together to be supported, to be celebrated, and to be nurtured. So we are feeding our minds, our bodies, and our soul with a community of women to be able to help us on this journey. Because one of the things, like I said, surrounding yourself around the right people to really help you on your journey, whether you're a professional or entrepreneur, is everything. So
Yes.
if you can make it out, please join us. We would love to have you.
December 5th. Lock it in your calendars, family. What time again?
It's going to be at 6:30 at the Boss Loft in Union, New Jersey,
Okay.
1929 Morris Avenue in Union.
Yes. So we all need to show up and support. I will make sure that I'll be in attendance to support
Yay.
this lovely, lovely initiative. Samiko, thank you so, so much. Concluding episode 2 of the Professional Women and Wellness Podcast. Join us weekly at 7 o'clock, where we will be speaking to various women professionals in this space of sacred living. Thank you for joining us tonight and have a beautiful evening.
Bye.